Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ingus and I'm from IGS Electronics, and today we are going to be looking into IMO Jaguar CUB3A drives. And as usual, we're going to be doing three-part video. Well, in the first video, like this one, we are going to be looking into how to commission the drive, factory reset, explore the keypad, the terminals, the parameters and things like that. In the second video, we're going to be looking into how to set the drive up in remote control with 2-3-wire control using potentiometer. In the third video, we're going to be exploring a bit further into how to get a drive going in a 3-wire multi-frequency control. So all the manuals and any related videos that I think is going to be beneficial to you in any way are all going to be in description below. So without further ado, let's get started. Here we are, all wired in. So as usual, let's go through the wiring. I am using a filter in the back for this drive, but usually your power is going to come in here. It's going to be earth down there, and then in a line and a neutral will go in these two terminals in here. And also the V, U and W with those three is going to be carry on for the motors, and up there that's for the DC braking systems in there. So this block in here, this is where your outputs, relay outputs are. And in here, from the terminal, if we start with the top bank, you have a switch in here which goes between sink and the source. That's for the power, for the inputs, input powering. And from Y1 all the way to PLC, those are more or less for output monitoring, transistor outputs, and to do with the PLCs. It's something for the normal applications you're not going to be using. And starting from X to X3, those are, and all the way down here is that's the ones you're going to be using the most. So these I would consider X1, X2 and X3. These are digital inputs, and they all are highly configurable, which we are going to be playing around a little bit in later on. And from 11, 12, 13, these are your analog, another 11 in here, analog inputs for a what's it called, the potentiometers, and for the analog current input. And in here is more input, which again is actually says forward and reverse, and CM is where you're going to get your source from. But forward and reverse, and that will be as well your digital inputs for as default. They're going to be set to forward and reverse, but can be configured if you wish to do that. So next up, let's have a look at the front panel in here. You got the programming and reset button in here. But basically, every time you want to go into programming, you will click the program, and by clicking again it will take you back out. And then you obviously can go up and down, select the group of whatever group you're going to be taking. Each group represents something, which you can talk about in a minute. And to enter into the program, you just press function/data. You want to edit that parameter, function data again, then up and down button for if whatever you want to change, and then function again. You will save it. And if you want to leave, you will just click program reset again twice. And also we got the run and stop button for a local control. These two buttons as well can be used for speed referencing, and this potentiometer can be used for speed referencing. There's quite a double option for the front local run, and that's pretty much, this is all there is to know about this drive. The one thing that really surprised me about this drive is carrier frequency is at 15, which is at max, and that is set by default, which is very, very impressive. I've never seen any drive to have carrier frequency straight defaulting to a maximum, which is, I'm definitely impressed with that. So motor runs very smooth. You're going to hear that in a minute. So next up we need to do is a factory reset. And for the factory reset we need to go to the group H. So let's go all the way to H group, and that will be the first parameter once you're entered, which is parameter 03. And the one thing you need to know is when you enter it, as you can see, you can't change anything because it requires 2-button change. You need to click stop and a up or down button together to be able to change that. So be aware of that to make sure that is happening. And once you change that, just click function data and it will save, and it will literally return you back to factory default. Everything that's been there before changed, now it's changed back to factory default. Next up, let's have a look at it to enter all the motor data, and that is actually a couple of the parameters that all we need to enter it, which is going to be in a parameter group P. Actually, not that one. This one. Here we go. We are in P, and we go in function, and then we go all the way down to the first code is going to be P02, and that will stand for your kilowatt rating. So enter whatever is on the data plate. My one is 0.18 kilowatt. So just change that to whatever your motor is. So save it, and then the next one is going to be your, obviously the most important one, is the current rating. Again, what's the current rating of your motor? My one is a what is it? It's 1.03 amps. I'm gonna go a little bit. There we go. So there we go. That's saved the 1.03 amps, and the next one is going to be, it's just the 99 one. It's where you pretty much select what sort of the motor you're using. By default, it's on 0, which is a standard motor, and you just leave it at that. So that'll be fine. So that's relating all the motor data you need to enter into the drive to get your pretty much going. So that's pretty much all you really need. So next one up, we need to sort of get to the run mode. So to run it, it's a couple of ways to do it, and we're going to be, because we're going to be using a local run, the first things we need to check is a frequency command source, which is going to be in F mode. Let's go to F, and that one is going to be in the 0-1. And as you can see, by default the stats are 4, and that means it will be running from a enabled the potentiometer. Frequency will be read from this potentiometer. But if you wish to read from here, I don't know why would you do that, but that function is available if you put that on a 0. And another one we need to check is just F2. Is where our start stop command is going to be coming from, and that's going to be in F2, and by default it stands at 2, and that will be enabled the run run from run and stop signals in front keypad. So that's pretty much those two things you need to check if you haven't done the factory reset. So make sure that is the case. And a couple of other things before we get cracking, we can we quickly check the frequencies to make sure they are there. So the F3 maximum is 50, and that's good. So, and the base frequency should be 50 as well. That is good. And the last thing we're gonna change is acceleration to acceleration time, which is 7. Let's change that down to, Jesus, it's not gonna go that slow, is it? I think it will. There we go. So let's change that down to about 1 second. My favorite one for the testing the drive. Here we go. Save. I like the way it shows the save button, and so we do the acceleration, the acceleration as well. So there we go. So come on, speed it up. Will do. So yeah, and that's pretty much all the things we needed to really check and change. The only thing is left now is to run. And before we go into the run mode, there's one more parameter we're going to check, which some people sometimes would like it. Not that one. This one. Let's go to the parameter called F11. And this is in here where you can set your thermal overload. So you need to make sure that you need to put down when you want the motor to trip out. Well, not the motor trip out, it's the drive to trip out. We're going to put that at 1 amp, so just below the actual current rating of the motor. So there we go. By default, it will be reading, it will be checking the data of what you already entered in the motor data. But if you want more specific, you can do that in F11. So that's what we did. We did that, and that's about it. Yeah. So and that only thing is left is to run. So by pressing the start. Look at that, how smooth is that? That's the maximum carrier frequency. I mean, it's just, if you know what carrier frequency is, I talk about it in I think in Mitsubishi videos, but a lot more. Basically, the switching frequency in there is really smooth, runs really well. So if that is by default at such a high carrier frequency, then I'm really impressed with that, because normally that is not that high in other motors. Probably that's why the why the motor, well, the drive price is quite significantly higher than any other drives that I have worked for. Is quite a bit higher, so probably that's why the price is coming in. It's obviously it's got quite a bit more functions and yeah, functions mainly that really can be adjusted and make the drive function a lot more differently. So but for the basic use, this is all you really need to get yourself going for the local run and getting your drive pretty much set up and ready for your motor. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will be it for this video. In the next video, we're going to be looking at running a remote control, and we'll be using 2-wire and 3-wire controls to see how that is all set up and running. So if you like that video, please smash that like. If you didn't, smash this like. Comment below what you like, what you don't like. I'd like to hear your thoughts, and obviously I'll be happy to hear if it has helped you out and you achieved your desired goals. So other than that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.